Ready to explore King's Cross? Of course you are. Gone are the days when this used to be one of the grottier parts of town. These days, there's all kinds of quirky spots and cool places to explore. It's Juliana from London by London, and today we're going to take a jaunt around King's Cross, the unusual spots and hidden gems you have to see while you're in the area. This morning, exploring the King's Cross area. Now, this is an area I know pretty well, but I've got a few things marked out today that I'm quite looking forward to seeing. A few quirky oddities. So I guess, why are we still talking? Let's go and explore. First up is a little stroll along Regent's Canal. Now, this winds its way through King's Cross, through various parts of town, and it's just such a nice, peaceful part of the world, even though it's like just mere moments away from the station. Although Regent's Canal by no means begins or ends in King's Cross, the King's Cross stretch is particularly pleasant. Pretty barges putt along the water, bringing a hodgepodge of colour to the scene, and it dates back to 1822. Just here at one of my favourite little bookshops in London, which is Word on the Water, which you can see just behind me, and it's there on a canal boat, so it's not open yet, it's a bit early, but if you are looking for a cool little place to go and buy some books and have a chat, they're brilliant. We couldn't come to King's Cross without saying a few words about Harry Potter, could we? Head into King's Cross Station to the spot between platforms 4 and 5 to find the mythical platform 9 3/4. And of course, you should swing by the shop on the same name inside the station to pick up your new wand on your way out. Walking alongside now St Pancras Station, and for me and so for so many people, this is like literally one of my favourite buildings in London. But it was actually going to all be pulled down, and Sir John Betjeman launched a massive campaign when he was the head of the Victorian Society, I think it was in the 70s, to save these glorious buildings because they were going to pull them all down. And another interesting tidbit is that the thing that a lot of people would call St Pancras is actually what was the Great Midland Hotel, and it is a different building even though they're attached. So the hotel was designed by Sir Gilbert Scott, who'd also designed the Albert Memorial in Kensington Gardens. And if you look, you can see a lot of those like similar architectural traces in the hotel. So not only did he design the Albert Memorial, but he also designed what I think is one of London's coolest buildings. Although the interior of King's Cross was used as the filming location in the Harry Potter films, it is the glorious exterior of St Pancras that we see in the film. Can't blame them, can you? It's such a corker and the perfect spot from which to hijack your flying Ford Anglia. I just found one of my new favourite views. Now, those of you who have been following along on the discoveries of, I am a massive fan of brutalist architecture, and right across from the St Pancras Station Great Midland Hotel is this, which was the Camden Town Hall Annex, which is now the Standard Hotel. And there is a great view back through into St Pancras Station of the old Victorian station framing the beautiful brutalist architecture. It's so cool. The British Library is another very controversial building in London. I think it opened in the late 90s. I remember going for the first time. Some people love it and some people just say it looks like an overgrown police station, that it's just really ugly and horrible and just doesn't sit well with St Pancras next door. What do you guys think? I actually think it's pretty cool. I think you can't like, it was never going to match St Pancras in terms of like trying to replicate the style, so it's actually really cool to see it doing something completely different, but it is very controversial. My next stop is somewhere that I've actually wanted to come and see for a while. It's a bit morbid, but it's one of the more unusual things to see in this area, and I've done enough like weird hinting, so I'm just going to cut and let's go and see what it is. Here we are. So this is the Hardy tree in the old St Pancras churchyard. Why is it called the Hardy Tree? Well, because Thomas Hardy, the famous author and novelist, he of Far From the Madding Crowd and Tessa d'Urbervilles and Jude the Obscure fame, well, before he became a world famous novelist, he had the unenviable task of exhuming lots and lots of bodies and replanting them to make way for the new railway that was being built at the time. So he had to exhume all the bodies and rebury them around this tree, which is now grown around the old graves. So this is one of the weirder spots in the King's Cross area, and one that not that many people know about. It's really interesting as well, because when you read Hardy's novels, you see some recurring themes, and one of them is that he doesn't generally tend to like cities, and he associates them a lot with the old being gotten rid of to make way for the new, the old historic traditions being just bulldozed over to make way for new developments, and maybe that came from this place where he had to move all of the old bodies and move part of the old churchyard in order to make way for the new railway. And one of the last stops for today is just actually it's a tiny little spot just around the back of St Pancras and King's Cross station, and it's Woburn Walk. And I don't know if you can see behind me, but it's really cute. I think it might be Georgian, maybe early Victorian, who knows, I'm not the expert here. But it's like this quaint little spot in the middle of, like, literally we're just off of the Euston Road, really busy, but then you're in complete peace and quiet here. And that's a wrap. A little jaunt around the hidden and not so hidden treasures of King's Cross. Looking for more quirky London guides? Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications button.